everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Calcio Bros. It is Christian here, and it's time to discuss what has gone on in the Euro so far. I know I did a video previously about that, but that was just mainly about the Azzurri and how they finished in their group and their upcoming match. And now we do know their opponents after the latest round of fixtures. So now it's time to talk about all the Serie A players that have taken part of these Euros. Well, some even in Serie B, but they all play in Italy anyways, right? We had the group stages finishes with Group F being one of the most hectic, crazy matches that we have had these Euros. And honestly, within the span of 5 minutes, it was constantly changing. Like, you never knew who was being eliminated. But anyways, we're going to get into that too. And I'm going to talk about the number of appearances that Serie A players have made, the goals, assists, man of the matches, and what we can maybe expect in the next round starting this weekend too. So if you've been enjoying the Euros, be sure to comment below and let me know. I want to hear your thoughts on the Azzurri and even any of the other players that have been participating in the tournament as well. Or if you have a favorite team that you're rooting for that you would hope they don't face the Azzurri, because they've probably been the best looking team considering they've been managing to win their games, not, I don't want to say fairly easily, but quite comfortably at least. So anyways, be sure to let me know. And anyways, let's get on to what we have to talk about today. So several players have made at least appearances in all three matches. So there goes their three appearances right there. Some of them unfortunately were eliminated. Some of them did help their team get through. After doing some calculations, I'm still hoping I'm right because trying to look through it all. We've had players, Serie A players or whatever, with appearances, though I'm not counting the Azzurri because most of them all play in Italy anyways. I will count the goals and assists, man of the matches towards the Azzurri, but just not appearances. But anyways, a total of 120 appearances from players that are in Italy. So you can say we are, and okay, yeah, some players did play all three games, but anyways, but still well represented. And considering that's quite a lot, considering some teams had also 5 or 6 players from the nation playing for their respective countries. So we did see a lot of representation from Serie A, and again, some of them did help them pass. Some others it did have those struggles, and some of them didn't really play up to par, as we know with Poland, unfortunately. But they did have a lot of Serie A players, a lot of talented. You know, they had Linetti, Zielinski, they had Berezinski, Szczesny. He did also have an awful first game, if we all want to call that back upon, but they did get a little harsh with that red card, but that's another story anyways. But you can tell there was a lot of appearances anyways from Serie A players. So there was, again, quite a lot of representation from Serie A. It's good to see that Serie A does have these stars. Doesn't mean we're focusing too much on foreigners, or is it just we have a well-rounded amount of talent in the league, and that's maybe what we need to have it be known as one of the best in there again, considering those times where Serie A wasn't considered one of the best anymore after what happened with Calcio. And it's really regaining itself, considering, yes, we've had the first time in 10 years where the Scudetto champion was not Juventus. We did have a true battle between many sides for the Scudetto. We did have Inter winning it, Milan was at top for a bit. Atalanta was close up until the last couple matches. So it has been very close, and it's good to see that it is becoming more competitive, and maybe they need these foreign superstars to really help gather the lead. And also considering some of them, I know I said superstars, but a lot of them too are just well-scouted players and prospects who've really flourished under a system. Look, for example, the biggest team is Atalanta. They barely have any Italians in the team, bar their goalies, Golini and Sportiello. Oh, and Toloi. I almost forgot about Toloi, considering he just recently got his Italian citizenship or transferred over to the Azzurri. But anyways, they scout a lot of players in foreign countries, and they've done an excellent job at getting them at a very cheap price. You know, when they got rid of Spinazzola when he went to Juve, they replaced him with Gosens. Look at Gosens now; his value has skyrocketed after the performances he's been doing in the Euros, and even before, like he was scoring goals as a wingback, as one of the highest scoring wingbacks too. You know, and speaking of Atalanta, they have uh, at least 4 players who have scored for them at these Euros. They have, let me think of it for a second now. Miranchuk, um, oh my God, I have the list here. Miranchuk, Mele, Piscina, and am I forgetting? And Gosens. I don't know, I was just talking about him. So at least they have 4 goals scored by players from that club. I think the last team who did that for Italy was Juventus back in Euro 2012. So quite a few years ago. But I believe the highest, I can't remember what club, I think it was Real Madrid, had the highest amount of goal scorers from the club, being 5 a few years back. So it's good to see Atalanta. Who would have thought that they would have this many representatives at the Euros? But have done an exceptionally well job scoring uh, and representing their club. So it's great to see that. I would as much as I would like to say who's made so many appearances. There, like I said, 100, I know I calculated, but there's just a long list of players, and for me to go through everyone, that would be taking too long. Again, some players have only made 1 appearance. Some just because they're reserves, others returning from injury. For example, Kulusevski had COVID, so he had to miss the first 2 games for Sweden, so he only made an appearance in the last one. Otherwise, he probably would have played in their first 2 matches. And then unfortunately, we have Christian Eriksen, as we all know, had the cardiac arrest on the field and is basically out of the Euros. So it's good to see, though, that he is discharged from hospital. He's at home and recovering, so I do wish him a speedy and healthy recovery, and hopefully we can see him get back on his feet, but I know it'll be a long recovery for him. I do have something to talk about with Inter afterwards, but anyways, just all the best for Christian Eriksen, and we hope to see him really prosper in the future, and again, just being healthy, and at least he's out with his family, so that's the main important thing. Remember, some things are more important than football. Going on to the goals now, after more calculations, so if we want to, we'll consider goals and assists in this way. So in a total, we have 25 goals and 15 assists. This one I did count Azzurri players as well, because again, it wasn't that many. And the Azzurri scoring 7. With goals too, I believe there's at least 3 own goals from players from Italy, Demiral, Szczesny, and Kuszka. Let me know if I didn't miss anyone, but I think those were the only ones. I believe I could be wrong, but again, if I didn't miss someone, be sure to let me know. Anyways, 25 goals. This one's not as many, so I can definitely list who it is. We have Perisic, who scored 2, who his second goal did help secure Croatia's progression to the knockout phases in their group in their last game. Lukaku has 3 goals. Again, his last goal against, oh my God, I'm having a blank. And anyways, in their last game, Finland, sorry, yes, Finland, almost had a blank there. His goals there helped to secure qualification, or not qualification, but just put Belgium on top of their group. And either way, they were probably going to finish first of their group anyways. They went for a perfect 3-for-3. Mele, another, again, like I said, the Atalanta player. Damsgaard, who scored an absolute beauty in that 4-1 win over Russia for Denmark. So that was incredible if you guys haven't seen that. We have Gosens, who again had one of the best games we've seen from, or just one of his best games that game. I know we've seen him have great games, but that was one of his best for Germany in the tournament. Got man of the match and really got one up on Ronaldo after this whole situation with the jersey story. And if you haven't heard that, that is just a great story to hear. When Gosens was playing against Ronaldo, Gosens did ask for Ronaldo's shirt. Ronaldo simply said no. Later, his teammates, after the story was released, his Atalanta teammates actually gifted him a Ronaldo jersey, and then this is just a great payback moment for that, defeating Ronaldo's Portugal in the Euro tournaments. Where are we now? We have Pandev, who became the first player to score a goal in a major tournament for North Macedonia. Also became their oldest player to score. I believe he's one of the oldest players to score in the major tournament anyway, so that was just a good intro for him. Unfortunately, North Macedonia did not win any matches, but at least Penev got to score for his nation after 122 caps, 20 years of international football. He managed to get his team where they always wanted to be at a major tournament and managed to score and just give that hope and just that achievement to his nation to really feel like they belong there. So that is big kudos to Pandev. He's also now retired. In his last game, he did get substituted, and all his teammates on the field did give him a wall of honor to congratulate him on the career that he's had. Also to note, he is the last member of Inter's treble-winning team to retire now. Honestly, I believe the only active players, or the starting 11 on the pitch, put it that way. But I think the only real active players that I can think of at the top of my head are Santon and Balotelli. So that really makes you feel like they were really young at the time, which I know they were, but you guys know what I mean. Anyways, whereas Linetti scored, Ronaldo leading the Euros, of course, with 5 goals for his Portugal side. 2 in the first game against Hungary, 1 against Germany, and then 2 in the last game against France. Actually, for them being on penalties as well. His only goal in open play was his second against Hungary, where he just got it and rounded the keeper in the last few minutes to complete Portugal's 3-goal haul of Hungary. Miranchuk scored another great goal in Russia's winner on match day 2. We had Skriniar scoring another winner for Slovakia 2 over Poland. Morata also one of the few players to miss a penalty at these Euros. I've never seen so many missed penalties in my life in one tournament. Like, it's incredible. Like, it's just crazy. Like, you wouldn't think so many penalties have missed. Like, goalies have done excellent to save them, but some of them have hit the post. Others have been able to score on the rebounds, but it's just, I've never seen so many missed penalties or own goals in a major tournament like this. It's insane. And considering, I don't know what's the record for missed penalties, but or like how many were missed the last tournament, but I know we've already beaten the most own goals from the last tournament. There's 3 own goals all of Euro 2016. There's 8. It looks like own goal is going to be the top scorer of Euro 2020. He's already 3 ahead of Ronaldo. Let's see how much more the own goal can get. Ramsey got 1. Beautiful play with Bale and Ramsey. That was an excellent finish against Turkey? Yes, Turkey. It was Turkey. I have to think about that. Immobile, Locatelli, Immobile and Locatelli each have 2 apiece. Immobile scoring in the first and second match days. Locatelli getting his 2 in the second match day against Switzerland. Insigne on the first day, and then Pessina getting his first international goal. Even Locatelli, that was his first senior brace in any senior, Sassuolo, Italy. And those were also his first international goals for Italy, so what a way to score them. And then Pessina gets his first international goal and only his 6th cap for Italy. And considering he was only not even in the preliminary squad, he didn't make the final cut and was only brought in after Sensi was injured. So kudos for Pessina and great congrats to him for getting a well-deserved goal. Moving on to the assists now. There isn't as many assists, of course. But like I said, a total of 15 assists. Berardi actually leads the Serie A players with 2, so it's still not that bad, anyways, right? But other players who have had assists this tournament are Gosens, Kulusevski, Mertens, Perisic, Barella, Immobile, Spinazzola, Toloi, Verratti, Zielinski, Ronaldo, Çalhanoğlu, and Malinowski. So all those players have contributed to their team's goals and have really put in performances. And even out of all these games, like we've had a total of 36 games so far. I know I keep going ahead of myself, but anyway, it's just the way we got to go, right? Out of these 36 games, we've also had Serie A players represent man of the match 10 times, which is incredible. Serie A has been well represented, really showing that we are a great league that has great players. Only one to get it twice is Romelu Lukaku. Dumfries did get it twice as well with the Netherlands, but again, he does not play in Serie A. But still, kudos to Dumfries, considering he's bagged 2 winners in 2 games as a defender as well. So why not? Anyways, Lukaku leading the players with 2, but other players to get the Man of the Match award at the Euros. Spinazzola, Locatelli, Chiesa, Eriksen after his moment there. They gave it to him even if Denmark lost the match. Skriniar, Ronaldo, Miranchuk, and Gosens. So those were all the players who got man of the match and who do play in Italy. Anyway, so those were all the statistics based off all the players. Did take me a while to come up with that, but if you have any thoughts about what we saw, who had the best appearances from the Serie A players, and definitely the Azzurri players had a lot of great performances. Spinazzola been one of the surprises so far. We do want to see more from certain players, but they're still really coming together. Italy seems like the best overall team and have looked the best. Speaking even of Italy, that people are still not taking them seriously, and it's, to me, it's just absurd. Like, okay, yeah, you want people to underestimate them, but it's like, considering saying, oh, they haven't played anyone spectacular, they're only playing Turkey and Switzerland, and no, come on. Like, every year you see the favorites is England, and they always choke. Their farthest they've gone is World Cup 2018. In a very long time, unless I am mistaken, but still they reached the semifinals where they lost to Croatia. But every year they have this great team. It's coming home, yada yada yada. They're supposed to be favorites, and then they end up choking. They go out, they can't perform up to par, and like honestly, look at them. They played a Scotland side that's ranked lower than Turkey and Switzerland, and they're supposed to have great players, which they, to be honest, they do. They have great players, but they don't. They didn't do anything, and they tied 0-0. But we played Turkey and Switzerland, and oh, they're nothing special because we beat them 3-0. At least we can beat the smaller opposition, but and again, considering like England didn't look the greatest anyways, like honestly, like even France, like France has talent all over. Their depth is even insane all over their team. Uh, you gotta look at your defense of Hernandez and Dean. Varane at the back, Zuma, midfield Conte, you got Pogba, you got Rabiot. Forwards alone, you got Mbappe, Griezmann, like Benzema, and then they go and tie Hungary 1-1 as well. You would expect France to take them out. Germany haven't looked the best for a couple years now. They're like in a kind of rebuild. So I think it's time that the people start taking Italy serious in this tournament because they've really shown that they can play and they actually play consistent attacking football and they do know how to defend still. Again, it's been 1,000 minutes that they have not conceded. They're on an 11-game winning streak and have not lost in 30 games. So they have not lost since, I don't remember the date, but when they last played Portugal, lost I think it was 1-0 in their Nations League group, so that was way before. They have not conceded in almost a year now. I think was it 2020? I think when we played Netherlands in our Nations League group. So again, the way the defensive aspect of Italy is set up and the way they're attacking, looking like they will constantly score, bring a threat up front. They have to take them seriously, and you can't keep putting saying all these other teams are the favorites because they have not looked as solid as the Italians. I could be biased, but that's just what I see. If you agree with me, be sure to let me know and comment down below because I do want to hear what you guys think about these teams and how the Azzurri are not taken as seriously as they should be, because they've really shown that they could be the team to beat at these Euros. So be sure to watch out for them, but let's see how these other teams do in the knockout rounds. And with the Group F finishing off, 3 teams did qualify for that: France, Germany, and Portugal. And we do have the knockout rounds starting this weekend. So let's get into some of those games too. I know I did say it in the last video, Italy will either play whoever finishes second in Group C. Yes, Group C. I was thinking Group B for some reason, but with all these changes, they change it up, right? So that was between Ukraine and Austria, and now we know it is Austria after they defeated Ukraine and finished second. So let's get on to some of the matches now. We have Wales, Denmark, Italy, Austria, Netherlands, Czech Republic, Belgium, Portugal, which will be a good one, Croatia, Spain, France, Switzerland, or England, Germany as well, another big tough game there, and then Sweden, Ukraine. So definitely some great matches to look out for. Definitely gonna be excited about all of them because it's just more football to watch, and it's gonna be tough because now this is where it gets interesting, because Italy, yeah, when they play in the group stages, they're good, but there's always this thing where it's like they don't take it as seriously. But now it looks like they're taking it seriously. They are really showing who they are. But once they get to once they get to the knockout rounds, this is where Italy usually plays their best. So if they're already doing whatever they were doing in the group stages, I can't imagine what they're going to do now when it matters, when it's a one and done game. So other teams better watch out now, and you may just want to wait to see what Italy will do to you. So if Italy do win and beat Austria on Saturday, which would be June 26th, they would play the winner of Belgium, Portugal. So if they do win, they're playing 2 great sides, one led by Romelu Lukaku, the other led by Cristiano Ronaldo. So either way, it's going to be tough opposition. But that's what you need. You can't have an easy way to the finals. You got to work your butt off to get to the final. So it's going to be a hell of a game and hell of a road to the finals if Italy can do it. I know they can. They have looked good, and we can really expect these players to come out on top and show who they are and what they want to, why they're doing this to represent their team. Again, another game to look out for: Croatia, Spain. Spain really disappointed and finished second in their group after Sweden managed to finish top of their group. So Spain did have an disappointing opening 2 games. Even Poland too, who were tipped. I don't know if they were tipped, but I had them actually to finish second in the group, and then they just completely faltered. not what you wanted if you were betting on that. So some money not well spent. Anyways, England, Germany is going to be another tight one. Hard to call for that one. Both teams can look very inconsistent. It could go down to overtime, overtime. I've been watching too much hockey. Extra time and penalty shootouts maybe to decide it. Or it could just be a close 1-0 game, or just a 1-goal game in general. You know, it could just be a very exciting. So just be sure to watch out for those games. Be sure to let me know which team you guys are looking forward to, if it's just because of certain players or background. I want to see what you guys think of these knockout rounds. If you guys have any thoughts on them, be sure to let me know. We're going to just move on to something outside of the Euros now. Moving on to some transfer news in Serie A. Some just local transfer news and just some official statements, what we've seen. So the first off is one of the big moves of the week, and that was Hakan Çalhanoğlu leaving Milan and moving to the other side of the city to join Inter Milan on a free transfer. Now it becomes one of the latest players to join Inter from Milan. The last player to, I believe, do so was Antonio Cassano back in 2012. So it's been a while since players have switched sides. I know Balotelli was a little more recent, but he went from Italy to England, back to Italy, so it didn't go directly to Milan. But he does join a list of players, Baggio, Vieri, Pirlo, Seedorf, Edgar Davids, like the list just goes on. There is quite a few names, and some of them I probably don't remember as much because I was probably small at the time. But anyways, just a long list of players. So some thoughts on that is basically um, Milan were standing firm on their offer of 4 mil for him, while he wanted, I believe, more 6 to 7. Not like he really deserved that, even coming from, like, as you can see, being a Milan fan. But still, I'm not too sad about that. He did not deserve the money he got after some disappointing performances. He, in that summer where Serie A had to resume, that's where he played some of his best football we've probably ever seen him do. That and probably the 6 months after from the Christmas break. But then after that, the whole of 2021 disappeared. I know he was waiting to shop around during the Euros, but he just put in more poor performances throughout the tournament as well. So it didn't really make his stock look any more great and didn't make it seem like he deserved all this money. But if it was it can't be just the money if right away you're going to the other side of Inter. And the only reason Inter got him was because they needed a cheaper option, because they're trying to sell players. And as we know, Hakimi is set to leave Inter, most likely to PSG. It's between PSG and Chelsea, but it seems like it's PSG, and that's about 70 million euros plus any add-ons. So it should be any day, any week, very soon. We'll just put it at that. But they needed some, because they're in some bit of debt. They need to get something on a cheap option, which it works out. But no transfer is ever free transfer. Sorry, yeah, no free transfers ever free. You're paying salary, agent fees, any other loyalty bonuses, all that sort of stuff. But they wanted a cheaper option just because they weren't sure if Eriksen will be able to return to play with Inter. I don't know if he's able to travel, so they want to be safe, get a quick, easy option, which they do with Çalhanoğlu. So now it's trying to see how he's going to integrate into this Inter team, how Simone Inzaghi will use him in the squad, and if they'll get a better Hakan than he was at Milan, or is he going to be the same disappointing one that he was at Milan? It's all there to see. But again, Inter has to do some work. Again, considering that they have to sell Hakimi, they got to now get a replacement for him, and it depends how much they'll be able to spend on him on a replacement, even though they are getting 70 mil for Hakimi. It depends how much they're able to allocate to that. If they can get another cheap option, and it's a good one, why not? But it depends who's available and who's willing to part ways with one of their star right backs or full wing backs. So lots of work for them to do. Moving on to the next one, Donnarumma's medical is imminent. Should be, I think, taking place before Italy's match against Austria. So as we know, Donnarumma is set to join PSG after rejecting the contract from Milan, and then Milan quickly going to sign a backup in, or not even a backup, sorry, a starter in Mike Maignan. So they did not want to wait for Gigio to make that decision, and especially considering it was taking too long. And they understood if they didn't make Champions League, they knew he probably wasn't going to resign because of the money issues. But the fact that he's leaving after making Champions League, it's just a whole mess, and it's just unbelievable anyways. But he's set to be PSG's keeper in the next few weeks with medicals imminent, so stay tuned for the official announcement when he does join the club. And then the last transfer news talking about is Manuel Locatelli. Now, we all know he's a great player. We know he was going to leave Sassuolo, but with these Euros, he's been managing to get more minutes at an international level where more people now will be able to see him, because as we know, there's only people who only watch international soccer and never heard of half of these guys at these club levels. So a lot of people seeing him for the first time are astounded, but us who watch Serie A know who he is and know how talented he is, and he has really showcased his talent at these Euros and is proving to be a wanted man now. As we know, Juve were always interested in him. I know, to be honest, I was even disappointed when we did sell him back in the day. But the one mistake that he did make is not putting a buyback option, and now it's really starting to hurt. But then again, it's hard to say because now, you know, Milan have Kessie, Benacer, Tonali, but still, you want that depth in the midfield. Again, it's hard to find minutes between all four of them when you have four key starters. So if you did have a midfield between Kessie, Benacer, Tonali, and Locatelli, who's going to get the playing time? But I know we're in Champions League, so that does mean a bit of rotation, but it's hard because when you want to start, you want to play every game, so that's the difficult thing. But anyways, Juve want him, and they desperately need a midfielder like him to revamp it. Their midfield hasn't looked as solid. You know, Arthur, Bentancur, Rabiot is very inconsistent. Ramsey, even they're very high on wages, especially Rabiot and Ramsey, and they have not produced the amount they are being paid to do. So they hope Locatelli would be a great option. I know they are offering 40 mil, 30 or 40 mil plus defender Draguzin as a counterpart, hoping Sassuolo accept. That would be an interesting counterpart for that. While Arsenal are interested in as well, and that would be a huge coup for them to get him, and I believe that's around 40-50 mil, and depends where he wants to go. If he wants to remain in Italy, which I kind of see the more likely of it, or if he wants to go abroad, test a new market. That all depends on what he wants to do. So I know Arsenal are not in Champions League, so that is the one thing that Juve have over Arsenal. So it depends where he wants to play. So just keep some eyes out. We'll be sure to let you know where he does end up, how the transfer is going. So just keep sure to watch out for our notices, and I'll be sure to talk about it once it does happen, once more transfer news comes up. So that is it for Euros and any transfer news. If I did miss anything or you want me to talk about something, be sure to comment below. I want to hear your guys' thoughts. If you haven't already done so, and if you're enjoying our channel as it is, be sure to subscribe to our channel. Click the notification bell to receive notifications, of course, when we release our latest videos. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter, Calcio_Bros, for transfer news, updates, and any team news that comes up so we can let you guys know. We'll be sure to let you guys know everything that we can, and we hope to hear from you guys soon. Ciao.